Hi, and welcome to Best in Tesla News, episode 204, the first news show of 2024. So Tesla's delivery numbers are in, and that are records all around, beating Wall Street's estimates. And Tesla in Europe was the absolutely dominating force through all of 2023. And the people that will buy an ICE car again is shrinking by the millions. And renewables in the UK beats out fossil fuel for the first time ever in 2023. And Australia is doubling their EV market, and Tesla sits on more than half of the BEV market in Australia. And Toyota is once again out lobbying to the UK government, trying to delay the rules to accelerate electric car sales. And the refreshed Model 3 might be coming soon to the US. And we see what car is the slowest selling new car in the US, and yeah, that is not good. And GM is stopping sales of their brand new EV. All of this and much more in today's episode. Let's dive right in.
Let's put our living stereo stylus in this groove.
The EV race for 2023 is over, and it was no surprise who became the two biggest players in the game. It is not just Tesla and BYD that saw incredible growth in 2023. As a rave for Tesla shared on X, Li Auto has just crowned itself the fastest new energy vehicle maker in China, which delivered 376,030 units in 2023 compared to 2022. That is an impressive growth of 182.2%. The projected delivery for 2024 is 800,000. Now that is quite the growth Li Auto is targeting there. But BYD did also seem to make a great end of the year push with December deliveries of over 190,000 battery electric vehicles, or BEVs, implying a total Q4 BEV deliveries of 529,000. So BYD did beat Tesla in Q4 of 2023 of the most BEVs sold for the first time ever, as Tesla did deliver 484,507 units in Q4. So I was off with 2,500 with my guess of 487,000 units, so not bad. And this was also a new record for Tesla and beating the street's estimates as well. And Tesla did have a ship with 5,000 to 6,000 Tesla that arrived in Australia but was sent back to China because of the ship was infested with stink bugs. So Tesla could probably have been above 490,000 if that ship did not get shipped back to China. But that will come in Q1 of 2024 instead. So a big congratulations to BYD on the amazing growth they have done over the past couple of years, and a big congrats to Tesla for making yet another quarterly record in sales and production. And of course, Tesla still took the crown for 2023 as the best-selling BEV automaker on the planet, with 1.81 million units sold versus BYD's 1.589 million units sold. So even though we had the haters in the beginning of the year saying there was no way that Tesla would sell 1.8 million units, well, here we are, and they were wrong as usual. But we will probably see a close race in 2024 between the two leaders in the EV race to see if BYD can take the crown from Tesla, or Tesla will take it once again in 2024. But one place Tesla sets themselves apart from BYD is earnings on their BEVs. As AJ showed us before, Tesla generates in China with the Model Y 2 times more revenue than the second closest BEV competitors. When it comes to revenue and profits, Tesla is still in a league of its own. No one comes close, but the whole discussion about BYD versus Tesla is a bit irrelevant, as it should say BYD and Tesla versus ICE cars. That BYD also grew this fast only shows us there is a big demand for BEVs, and legacy automakers backing down, giving more room for Tesla and BYD to grow, so it should be legacy automakers that are afraid of BYD, not Tesla. Tesla is already making only BEVs, so they can just grow as fast as possible, as they are already only making the car of the future. And speaking of the leaders in the EV race, no, GM did not get close to Tesla's or BYD's numbers of EV sales. They didn't even get above 100,000 of GM's EVs, as it is still basically only the Bolt that is selling in volume. The Hummer EV has basically been a flop so far, together with the Lyriq, and the Blazer EV is getting hammered by reviewers as we speak. And GM has even temporarily stopped sales of the Blazer EV to try to fix all the software issues that is with this brand new car. Yes, it is not off to a great start. So after all these years of talking about the ultimate platform, they have basically nothing to show for it, as the Bolt is not built on that platform. So I think it's fair to say that the ultimate EVs so far has been a big failure for GM, and GM has also cut back on their EV target in 2024 as they don't see high demand for their EVs. So another year with nothing from GM other than talk, so let's see if 2024 will be any different. And the true leaders in the EV race, BYD and Tesla, have no intention of slowing down, quite the opposite. I expect Tesla to grow with more unit sales than GM will sell in total of BEVs, just as we have seen in 2023. Tesla grew with about 500,000 units. That was more than 5 times as many EVs that GM was able to produce in total. Tesla grew with. So Tesla left GM even further behind, quite a lot further behind in 2023. Not a good sign when you have been out telling the world you will be catching up. And now you only have 1 year left before GM said they would sell as many EVs in 2025 as Tesla in the US. Well, we wish you all the best of luck, because you are going to need it. And just before we start hearing people screaming about 484,000 units in Q4 was a bad quarter, remember the number is basically what all the other EV manufacturer has sold combined in the US last year. But the fourth quarter of 2023 also saw the highest Tesla Model S and X deliveries of any quarter over the past 5 years. So that is nice to see, even though they are kind of irrelevant in the greater scheme of things. They are still selling nicely. So now we are off to the races in 2024, and I think we will see Tesla do 2.2 million this year, as I said many times before, adding another 400,000 on top of 2023 production numbers. And according to Bloomberg, this will also be what Tesla will be guiding for, 2.2 million. But we have to wait and see what Tesla officially will announce. And if you, like me, are losing your hair and want to do something about it, I have just discovered Keeps, which offer treatment that are clinically proven to work. Keeps offers both of the FDA-approved hair loss treatment options, as well as a 2-in-1 gel that combines both treatments. So I personally really wanted to check this out, and that is why I have partnered up with Keeps, who is the sponsor of this video. Keeps is an online subscription service that makes it easy and more affordable for men to treat their baldness from the comfort of their home. According to clinical studies, treatments offered by Keeps are 90% effective at treating hair loss and can increase the hair growth by up to 35%. So whether you're looking to prevent hair loss, stimulate hair growth, or just take better care of the hair you have, Keeps got you covered. And most Keeps customers notice a result within 6 months of starting the treatment. To date, Keeps had helped nearly 1 million men keep their hair and has over 5,200 5-star reviews, with some impressive before and after photos from customers. And that's why I thought I wanted to try out Keeps to see if I can stop my own hair loss and maybe get that 35% back. I will definitely take that. So if you, like me, would like to stop your hair loss and keep your hair, go to keeps.com/bestinTesla for a special offer and get started today and make 2024 the year you stop losing your hair. And a big thanks to Keeps for sponsoring this video. And in Europe, Tesla was the absolutely dominating force throughout all of 2023. And history has been made in 2023 in my country of Denmark, as Tesla's Model Y did become the best-selling car ever in Denmark's history, and in 2023 of course. And the race in 2023 was not even close. The Model Y sold almost 3 times as much as the runner-up, the Porsche 208, that cost half as much as the Model Y. The other car the Tesla Model Y has beaten that had been the best-selling car in the history of Denmark was the Opel Kadett, that in 1986 sold 16,686 units. And that was after 49 years on the market. So the Kadett did change its name to Astra in 1999, and today is sold under that name, and you might know Opel as Vauxhall in your country, but this car was also a very affordable car, so the Model Y is no doubt the most expensive car that have ever taken this title in Denmark. But even though the Model Y just completely took over in Denmark, we can see on Philips charts here that Tesla has also another car in the top 5 in Denmark. The Model 3 ended up being the 4th best-selling car in Denmark, and that also meant that Tesla did become the best-selling car brand in my country with only 4 models available. And also in Iceland, Tesla is the best-selling brand, breaking a previous record held for 33 years. So I think we can put the discussion to rest that we have been talking so much about through 2023, that Tesla need more models. Well, just the Model Y alone has sold more units in my country than any other brand combined with all their many models. Volkswagen ended the year off with just short of 17,000 units sold in Denmark. And Tesla does more with one model. So as we have seen all over the world in 2023, EVs are taking over and people want Teslas, and Chinese EVs, not so much legacy automakers EVs, that they had to cut back on production targets as inventory was piling up for their EVs, while plug-in in general are expected to grow 34% in 2023 compared to 2022. And as we have been able to see in many markets around the world in 2023, BEVs are growing much faster than plug-ins, and the sale of hybrids was about 3 million in 2022 and 4 million in 2023, whereas BEVs was about 8 million in 2022 and 10 million in 2023. So BEVs grew with twice the amount of units in 2023 as plug-in hybrids. And EV volume don't expect plug-in to ever get higher than 5 million units a year, and Toyota and some of the other legacy automakers want to focus more on hybrids because their BEVs are not selling well. But BEVs are the one expecting to grow much faster than plug-in hybrids that are expected to only grow about 1 million more and then plateau. So again, the legacy automakers are just making all the wrong choices because they want to minimize their short-term losses, but that will probably lead to long-term failure, as that will only give more room for Tesla and BYD and the other Chinese automakers to grow even faster and take more market share. As we see, the demand is there if you build a software-defined electric vehicle, and not the crap we are seeing from GM, where they can't even get their EVs to work properly. Yeah, the writing is on the wall, but some legacy automakers seems to be suffering from paradigm paralysis, and others just suffering from bad software that the consumers don't want in their cars. And people that will ever buy an ICE car again is shrinking by the millions. Bradford shared on X, Tesla delivered 484,000 in a quarter is 484,000 people that will never buy ICE cars again. True, there might be a few people that for some reason want to go back, but the vast majority will not. And in 2023 there was about 10 million people that bought a pure electric vehicle that will probably never go back to ICE cars, as EVs as an everyday car is just so much better and more convenient. And in 2024 we will probably have about 15 million more that will never buy an ICE car. So it does not take many years before there is not enough left to buy ICE cars again, that this business will go away. This is actually a good way of looking at it to get an idea of how fast this transition will go. As I also have a friend that had 2 diesel cars, and one of them was even paid off, but him buying a Tesla Model Y and a Tesla Model 3 instead of the two old diesel cars now saves him about $15,000 a year. And as he put it, now he has two of the best cars he has ever owned and saved $14,000 a year on maintenance, diesel for the cars, service and green taxes on the old diesel cars here in Denmark. Yes, they do drive a lot, but I also save about $4,000 a year just on the Model Y compared to my old diesel car. The more people that get to experience how much cheaper it is to own an EV compared to the inferior and inconvenient ICE car, the people that actually want to buy ICE car will shrink fast. Every single year, we're talking about millions of people that will never again buy an ICE car. And it does have a double effect as people talk to their friends about it. So more people than just the ones buying them car are likely to not buy an ICE car again. Because they all want the most convenient car that saves them thousands of dollars every year. And like this week when we had the snowstorm over Denmark, I was so glad that I didn't have to go to the gas station to fill it up. I did that from the comfort of my warm home, drinking a cup of coffee, watching the crazy weather outside. Yeah, people that still want an ICE car today are only people that don't know what they're missing out on. And let's squeeze in the last short news topics into this new show. Yes, it's time for the Tesla Shorts. Even though Tesla made new records and beat Wall Street estimate, you can't find a single headline about it. You can only see headlines about how BYD beat Tesla in the fourth quarter, or if they write about Tesla delivery numbers, there are no mention of records or beat of estimates. But if Tesla missed the Wall Street estimates, you can be sure they will write Tesla missed target in the headlines. It is really starting to be a little bit embarrassing to see all these anti-Tesla buyers there is in the mainstream media. And here is an example that Jeff Lutz pointed out on X from Laura, when Tesla did hit their target of 500,000 in 2020, but was 450 units under the target set in 2014. Her headline, of course, said slightly missed target, but when she reported on the record-breaking numbers of Q4, nothing. Just the numbers, nothing else. And after Jeff Lutz pointed that out on X to her, she blocked him. I mean, you can't make this shit up. And CNBC also embarrassed themselves by writing, BYD beats Tesla for a second straight year after producing 3 million cars in 2023. Well, true, but that includes hybrids. Tesla does not make hybrids, so how is this even a comparison? Tesla beat BYD in 2022 and in 2023 in total BEV sales. Embarrassing, CNBC. So Tesla grew 38% in 2023, but looking back over the last decade, we can see Tesla has a compound annual growth rate of 55.1%. So guess Mark B. Spiegel was wrong when he said Tesla would not be able to grow 50% compound annual growth rate because no other large manufacturer had ever grown that fast. But here we are, and Tesla has grown even faster than 50%. Quite impressive. And Paul also said on X, his first quarter working for Tesla, they sold 18,000 units. That will probably be Q4 2015, where Tesla did deliver 17,478 units. So in only 8 years, Tesla has increased their deliveries by 100x. Mind-blowing growth from Tesla. And in the UK, we see electric made from wind, solar and hydropower outstrip fossil fuel for the first time ever in 2023. Yes, remember, it is not only the car that is being disrupted, the grid and the energy sector is also being disrupted, and Tesla is also a big player in that game as well. And we can also see in Germany that the coal-generated electricity is trending towards zero. Nice. And we got some bad news for the Cybertruck coming to Europe this week, as Lars Marari, the vice president of vehicle engineering at Tesla, explained to Top Gear. Lars sees two problems. First, the market for pickups in America is huge and not so much in Europe. And two, the European regulations demand a rounding of 3.2 millimeters on protruding parts. Unfortunately, it is not possible to make a rounding of 3.2 millimeter on a stainless steel plat of 1.4 millimeters, he tells Top Gear. So it sounds like Lars has his doubt about the Cybertruck for the European market, but I am still clinging on to the hope that the rumors Brian from My Tesla Weekend heard from employees from Tesla at their Christmas party that Tesla has a lot of lawyers working on it to get it to Europe. But no matter what, it will be years before Tesla get to the European reservation holders, so they will have years to figure this one out. And we can't see any slowdown in the EV adoption in my country, and the installment of superchargers does not indicate any slowdown either. We started the year off with 831 hyperchargers or supercharger stalls in Denmark, so chargers with 100 plus kilowatt of charging speed, and ended the year off with 2,099 stalls, growing more than 150% in 2023, as Arper shared on X. And Clever really did a lot of installment and ended up overtaking Tesla as the biggest hypercharger provider in Denmark. And Tesla revealed that all the following models will qualify for the full $7,500 federal tax credit in the US. The Model 3 Performance, the Model Y Rear-Wheel Drive, the Model Y Long Range, the Model Y Performance, the Model X Long Range, and only the Model 3 Rear-Wheel Drive and Long Range lost the tax credit. And the refreshed Model 3 might be coming soon to the US. As Robert Scoble wrote on X, I learned from a Tesla employee at the Fremont factory on Friday that they had already retooled. Expect an announcement in January and on market by March. That would be cool if this turns out to be true. But Tesla needs to get the refreshed Model 3 to US soon, as the Americans can see just how good this thing is in Europe and China. And when we're talking about the competition and countries where competition is not coming but is already there, is Norway, as ICE sales are almost completely disappeared, and both Volkswagen and Hyundai are stopping all sales of ICE cars. So here we have almost all the EV models on sale, but Tesla is still leading the way, expanding its lead in Q4 of 2023, and ended 2023 with 23.6% BEV market share in Norway, up from 15% last year. Again, this is just amazing, growing in the BEV market with basically only plug-in sales in the country, and have hundreds of EV models to choose from. So the competition came, but that did not change anything for Tesla. The growth story only continued. And Roman shared on X a scene at Giga Berlin. This driver blocked a charger with fossil fuel car and got a fine of 25 euros. Nice. And this is not looking too good for Lucid Cars, as we can see this Air Grand Touring that did cost $140,000 is being sold for only $80,000 with less than 4,000 miles on the odometer. And Elon wrote on X, next week I will do a company talk for SpaceX, followed later by the company talk for Tesla after the 10K. I will report the talented team's amazing accomplishments of 2023 and describe exciting plans for 2024 and beyond. That sounds very exciting, and Tesla's 10Q last year was on the 30th of January, so we should expect that to be around the same time again this year. So that is definitely a talk to look forward to. And we got another example of Volkswagen is doomed in China. No one seems to want their new flagship EV, the ID.7. Only 300 orders. Volkswagen's new electric car is becoming the slow seller. Volkswagen presented the ID.7 at the Shanghai Auto Show last April, where the group was shocked by all the Chinese competition, and it has finally started selling at the Chinese dealers since December 15th. Their response is sobering. No car dealers received more than one order. One order! Just let that one sink in Volkswagen's most important market. No wonder they are getting Xpeng to make new EV models for them for the Chinese market, as they are clearly not able to make an EV the Chinese people really want. The ID.7 is just not competitive with the likes of Tesla, NIO, Xpeng, BYD, Zeekr, and so many of the other EVs that are in the Chinese market. And Volkswagen has finally taken action by cutting prices across the ID line in Europe. I have been screaming about this for 3 years now, and Volkswagen is only 1 year late to the price war. They said they would never do. But here we are, and Volkswagen is forced to lower their prices if they want any new traction in 2024. And we got to see, thanks to UTechPier's YouTube channel that shared the Cybertruck window sticker, where Tesla write the Cybertruck has 90% North American parts, including 65% from the US and Canada. The F-150 Lightning has just 38% US and Canada content, and the ICE version just 30%. So Tesla is hands down the most American-made truck, and the toughest truck ever made, really taking away Ford's selling points here of American truck and built tough. Well, not compared to the Cybertruck. And Ford only delivered 24,165 Lightnings in 2023, so down about 78% from their target of 80,000 units they set in January 2022. They have cumulatively only delivered 39,782 Lightnings over the past 2 years. I think Tesla will beat that with the Cybertruck in just 2024. And their Mark E that was eating into Tesla sales. Remember these articles from 2 years ago? Well, here is a little chart showing you Mark E versus Model Y in 2023. Yep, eating into Tesla sales. The competition has arrived. And we got some more videos of the Cybertruck doing some off-road driving. And despite the strike against Tesla in Sweden, Tesla's Model Y did take the throne from Volvo as the best-selling car model in Sweden, no matter propulsion. Volvo still remains the best-selling brand in Sweden though. And while Tesla beats records once again, Rivian did see some concerning numbers in Q4 that is usually the highest quarter in a year, but Rivian was actually down 10% compared to Q3, even though production continued to grow. So we can hope that Rivian just sees some problems distributing the cars and will get that sorted out, and not that Rivian is seeing demand problems. But Rivian did get to their 50,000 units this year, with the last quarterly numbers just short of 14,000 units sold. So very close to their guidance of 54,000 units, so that was very nice to see. And Paul shared on X his experience after he has been driving the Cybertruck for a couple of days and how great the steer-by-wire is, as he wrote, after a couple of 100 miles. I can't stop driving the truck. The steer-by-wire system makes you realize how silly mechanical steering actually is. Have you ever had a computer mouse not being sensitive enough? Yes, I have tried that and it drives me crazy. So you have to drag it an excessive amount to get the mouse across the screen. That's what going back to no steer-by-wire feels like to me after a few days of Cybertruck. Why on earth would you want to turn the wheel 2.5 times around in either direction if you could accomplish the same thing with just half a turn? It takes the very last truck and make it nimble to the point where it still doesn't quite make sense. Yes, the Cybertruck's steer-by-wire will make every other pickup truck feel big and clumsy. And we did also get to see the Cybertruck in action charging a Model Y with its power share feature that can output 9.6 kilowatt continuously. So that is pretty high charging speed actually, considering a normal home charger is 11 kilowatt. And Tesla does advertising a little different than most. To celebrate the continued opening of the network to all EVs, non-Tesla EVs will get their first supercharger session for free until January the 6th, 2024. Available in 18 countries. Must use credit card on Tesla app. Yeah. Welcome to the Tesla ecosystem. And we saw a fun Easter egg in the Cybertruck. If you triple tap the Cybertruck on the screen, the window breaks. Absolutely brilliant. And while Tesla's Model Y is the best-selling car in the world, one of the slowest-selling new cars in the US is Ford's Mark E. The one that was supposed to be eating into Tesla sales, remember that? Legacy automakers are truly in trouble. Their EVs don't sell very well, so they're cutting back on production, making it harder for themselves to get to economy of scale and start earning money on their EVs. Very short-term thinking in my opinion. Meanwhile, BYD and Tesla is sprinting along. Tesla even grew in BEV market share in Q4 versus Q3 in the US. We did see headlines about Tesla crumbling to only 50% BEV market share in Q3, But now they are at 55.1% BEV market share. So Tesla grew faster than the entire BEV market in the US in Q4. Not bad. And
Honda is recalling more than 2.5 million vehicles in the U.S. over a fuel pump defect.
oh, sorry about that. This is of course not news. This is not Tesla. So who cares? And SpaceX deployed new satellite this week. First launch of Starlink's direct-to-phone satellites. Not something to rival normal mobile coverage, but in areas with no coverage at all, this will be very nice. And Tesla is not slowing down, but has the whole army of Tesla ready to be exported from the Shanghai harbor. But domestically, Tesla did break records, as they seem to end the year off with 611,000 units sold domestically, almost up 40% in Q4 year over year. And December was also the best December ever and the best month this year. So don't think we have to talk about demand problem for Tesla in 2024. We have been hearing about this all through 2023, but we have no facts showing a demand problem. Tesla grew from almost 440,000 in 2022 to 611,000, so up almost 40% in China. We can't really talk about demand problem when a company grows 40%. And Xpeng did make a new record in Q4 as well, but has been down in the first half of 2023, so they will end the year off with something like 100,000 units sold, so about flat compared to last year. But let's see if they can keep their great momentum from the second half of 2023 into 2024. But it is not all Chinese EV makers that are just doing great. Chinese luxury BEV maker Hipai is reportedly defaulting payment to suppliers and salary to employees. Low sales is generating zero cash flow. Unless new working capital is desperately injected into the company, the outlook is dire. 2024 may be a tough year for those financially weak new energy vehicle makers in China. Yes, not all the many hundreds of EV makers in China will survive. But it is not just in China and Europe we do see a rapid growth of EVs, so does Australia. Fully battery electric vehicles made up 7.2% of new vehicle delivered to buyers in 2023, compared to 3.1% in 2022, so doubling from last year. And the Tesla Model Y was the best-selling EV and number 6 model of any type across petrol, diesel, electric, with 28,769 sold. Tesla had a total sales of 46,116 in 2023 in Australia compared to BYD's 12,438. So BYD is big in China, but they still have to show they can gain on Tesla outside China. But Tesla's 46,000 units sold is equivalent to 3.8% of the overall market share. So Tesla sits on more than 50% of the entire BEV market in Australia. Yeah, not a bad idea with that China factory, even though it was called freaking meaningless by the Tesla Qs. And Toyota, Jaguar, Land Rover and Nissan lobbied the UK government to try to weaken or delay rules to accelerate electric car sales and cut Brighton's carbon emission. Volkswagen and Ford and Tesla argued that the zero-emission vehicle mandate should be tougher. Yes, Toyota can't keep up, so they do everything they can to delay the inevitable. Ford and Volkswagen at least know that by 2035 it will all be over, so no need to try to delay that. But all this lobbying done by Toyota also just shows us that Toyota is not coming and shifting gears as fast as some think. Even Sandy Munro thought that the new CEO would change things fast, but we can clearly see that all the signs shows us that is not the case. And before we end off with a bit of fun, I just want to make a quick shout out to my newest supporters of this YouTube channel. My YouTube members, Steve Klinger, Michael O'Connell, Andrew Hemsworth, and my new Patreon producer, Mark Evers. Thank you so much for all your support. I am doing this all by myself, but you guys are all the producers of this new show. Thank you. And let's end off with a bit of fun. A video showing Volkswagen trying to control their shift to EVs with weak demand and high cost. It's a tough mix to handle. that is all we have time for in this new show, the first new show of 2024. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button. It really does help this video out a lot so others can find it on YouTube. And if you did like it, maybe you want to consider hitting that subscribe button, notification bell, so you don't miss out on future videos just like this one. And if you're already a subscriber to the channel, thank you so much for the support. But if you want to support the channel even more, remember you can, for as little as $1, become a patron of this channel, or become a member of the YouTube channel to get a shout out as some extra perks like early access, ad-free versions of my videos, exclusive videos. So hit the members button or check out Patreon to find out more. And don't forget to follow me on X. I post pretty much all the news as it comes out and a lot more. And check out the merch store to get some merchandise and support the show. It is also possible to support the show without becoming a member or a patron. There is a donation option down below or on my website bestintesla.com, or as simple as hitting the super like button. And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.